If you're running ads for your cleaning business, whether it's Google, Facebook, or Yelp, but it feels like you're burning through your cash, then this video is for you. So I'm going to take you through the 4 most common ad spend money wasters I come across and exactly how you want to go about to fix them for your next campaign. So let's dive straight in. So first of all, the traffic quality. We need to make sure at a very basic level that the people who see our ads are interested in what we offer and potentially able to take action today. And it's the second point that is really important because, for example, let's say we run a house cleaning business in Chicago. So our ads are being shown in a local publication, a local magazine for people who live in Chicago. Fantastic. They own their homes. Fantastic. But where that ad campaign probably falls down is that only a very small percentage of those people are probably wanting to take action today, pick up the phone and book service with you there and then. You could say similarly for some of the social media platforms. So if someone is flicking through TikTok or Instagram, we may be able to target that person by their location and their age and demographics and things like that. But how willing and able are those people to take action, see your advert, give you a call there and then? And this is why, 9 times out of 10, I think most people will probably end up going back to marketing on Google, because if someone goes to the, google.com and searches for house cleaners in Chicago, that person is wanting to take action today. So they are based in Chicago, which is a tick, but importantly, they are wanting to get information and potentially book service there and then. And this is where, Google marketing in particular, I think has an edge against all the other marketing channels. So when you identify when you are creating your advert, you need to think about your traffic. Are they potentially interested in what you do? But most important, are they willing and able to take action today? Because if they are willing and able to take action today, you will find that you get a much greater number of leads and ultimately clients coming into your business. So then point 2 is the call to action or the landing page. So if someone sees your advert, what are you trying to get them to do? Are you trying to get them to give you a call, or are you trying to get them to link to your website? Or are you linking to another landing page? And this step is extremely important because you could get the best pool of traffic. That traffic is really interested in what you do. But if you send those people to a really, really badly created website that isn't mobile responsive, that doesn't load quickly, it's not clear what you do, it's not clear the areas that you serve, you're going to get a much, much lower conversion rate than, say, sending that traffic to a highly optimized, mobile-friendly landing page. So we need to make sure that the call to action or the landing page is, works well and can convert that high-quality traffic to leads. Because if it isn't doing, it doesn't matter the quality of your traffic. You just will not get as many phone calls and you will not get as many leads for your ad campaign as well. Final thing to mention here is something that I get asked an awful lot is that, particularly with digital marketing, if we're running a Google marketing campaign, for example, people often ask me, should I send it to a home page or should I send it to a landing page? And 9 times out of 10, I will tell those people you want to create a specific landing page for your marketing, your digital marketing campaigns. Because, to put it very simply, most people will send the traffic to a homepage. But the problem with that is that your homepage is trying to do multiple things. Yes, it's looking to be attractive to potential clients and get them to give you a call. But it's also trying to appeal to, say, maybe someone you've been to a networking event and you've met a property manager, and the property manager decides to check your website out, so it's got to look professional for those people. Maybe you are running a recruitment campaign and your cleaner candidates are coming to your website to find out a bit more about you. It needs to be informative for those people as well. So your homepage is trying to do all these different things. Whereas if you are sending people to a dedicated landing page, that landing page has one goal, and that goal is to take a potential client to take action, give you a call or fill out a quote request. So it's a far more laser targeted call to action. And what you find is that the conversion rates of using a really good landing page is always going to be higher than a home page. So when you're thinking about running an ad campaign, try to always create a specific landing page for that traffic, and you'll find that your conversion rate is a lot higher. The final point to say on the landing page is people will often ask me, should I be using an online booking form where people can choose a specific time slot and enter their credit card information, or should you use a simple lead form with maybe a request a quote call to action? People can fill in their contact details, the size of the property, and request a quote, and then you can then follow up with that person and give them a call. So the big difference between those two is obviously with the lead form, you are not requiring a credit card field. And again, usually what I would suggest is use that lead form, because if you are using an online booking form with a credit card field, we require, or the client requires a huge amount of trust to actually put their information in there, their sensitive credit card information, probably to a cleaning company they've never used before. So they will have to be comfortable that the information that they see on their landing page gives them that comfort. They'll probably need social proof, lots of reviews, all those sorts of things. Whereas if someone is filling out a lead form without the requirement for credit card information, it's far more likely that they'll fill that out. And the reason why this is my preferred approach with running ad campaigns is that once you have that client's phone number, you can give them a call. And then on the call, that is where you build the trust and build the rapport. Ask the client why they're looking for a cleaning company, answer their specific questions, build a bit of trust. And ultimately, if everything goes well and the client is happy with what you say and your pricing, you can then book them there and then. So you're using the phone call rather than your website, your landing page for the heavy lifting. So all in all, if you use this lead form funnel rather than online booking, what you'll find is that you'll get more leads and more clients for the same ad budget. So rather a lot to think about the landing page, but the landing page is really, really important. So if you guys are finding this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It really helps me to get understanding of what you like and what you find helpful. So let's jump on to point 3. So then point 3 is conversion tracking. And this is really where we start to separate the more amateur advertisers from the more professional ones. And conversion tracking, at its basic form is basically understanding, okay, we've put in $1,000 into Google Ads. How many lead form requests have we got? How many phone calls have we got? Out of those calls and out of those quote requests, how many booked clients have we got? And what conversion tracking allows us to do is to remove the guesswork from figuring out our return on investment for our ad campaign. Far too many people who get in touch with me are, relying on gut feel. They'll put in $1,000 and say, okay, yeah, it feels busier this month. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's bump it up to 1,500. And maybe the following month it's maybe not as busy, so they reduce it down again. And this sort of gut feel approach is definitely not the way to run your ad campaigns. You'll waste money doing this. So conversion tracking is really important. And generally with these ad campaigns, we have 2 key calls to action. So the first one is, the lead form. If someone fills out a lead form, as I said in the last point, usually what you can do is add a bit of tracking code, create a thank you page, and it's relatively simple and straightforward to track each time a lead form is filled out. What is more complicated or requires a bit more technical experience is tracking your phone calls. So most people don't know how, if they're getting a phone call into their business, has it come from my Google Ads campaign? Has it come from Facebook? Has it come from organic? And this is where you probably want to use a third-party call tracking software. There's lots of those out there. Do a quick Google. CallRail is one provider. WhatConverts is another. High Level also has call tracking as part of the software as well. So, the way that call tracking works is essentially you purchase a local tracking number with the same local phone number. And you use that tracking number on your landing pages, but when someone clicks on that number, it then diverts the call to your main office number. And it's the switching from your local tracking number to your main office number that triggers the conversion. And that is how you can see if a phone call has come from your Google Ads campaign or if it's come from other sources. So get your conversion tracking locked down. You'll be able to get far greater visibility about if your overall campaign is making money. But where it gets really interesting is then if you have set up your campaign in the right way, you can see which specific keywords in your account are driving the conversions. You might find that, as I said, let's say you're a house cleaning business in Chicago, you might find that the keyword house cleaners in Chicago is getting you leads at a far lower lead cost than, say, maid service near me. And when you have this information, then that's when you can take your ad campaign to the next level. You can bid more aggressively on the lower lead cost keywords and take it away from the higher. And what that means is that when you look at your overall number of leads and clients that you've got for your ad budget for that month, you'll just get more leads and more clients. So then point 4 is about follow-up. This is extremely important because most of the clients that get in touch with me do not follow up enough, and they don't do it in the right way. So as we said, people will generally get in touch with us via calling us up or filling out a quote request. If someone is calling up, it's really obvious to say that every single call that comes into your business needs to get picked up. I see far too often that people are missing calls, and this is, an absolute no-no, because these phone call leads are the very best quality leads that you can get into your business. As I said before, if you can get these people on the phone, if you can answer their questions, if you can build trust and rapport, your close rate from lead to book client is going to be far higher than if you're trying to communicate over email or text message. So the first key point to say is make sure that you're picking up all the phone calls. It's a really obvious and clear thing to say, but so many people don't do that. On the other call to action side, if someone fills out a lead form, a quote request, we need to make sure as soon as that quote request comes into us, the speed of response has to be extremely quick. Ideally within the first couple of minutes, get that person on the phone, give those people a call. Don't send them an email. Try and get them on the phone as your first point of call, because as I said, the best thing to do is try to get into a conversation with them over the phone. If you call that person and for whatever reason they don't pick up, you need to leave a voicemail, you need to leave a text message, you need to send them an email. This multi-channel follow-up is extremely important because people can communicate in different ways. If someone is in the office, it's probably going to be difficult for them to take a phone call, but they'll probably be able to see a text message or an email. Or if there is someone who is out and about and they don't want to communicate by email and they just rather speak to someone quickly, maybe phone calling is better. So we need to make sure that we follow up in all these different ways because people will have different preferred modes of communication. So speed of response is really important. Multi-channel communication is extremely important. And the third pillar really is following up every single day for a week. Far too many people I come across will get this quote request come into their inbox and they'll try calling and they don't get through, and maybe they call maybe once more and send an email, and then if they don't hear back, they'll just give up on that lead. That is not the way to do it. You need to follow up every single day for a week because you're running an ad campaign, you're paying for these leads. It is in your absolute right to follow up with a client until they say yes or no. Follow up every single day for a week before, maybe effectively saying, okay, that lead has gone cold. But, what is important, and this is something I say to all my clients, is that you want to follow up in a way that doesn't feel like it's repeating the same message. So on that first follow-up, let's say you get that quote request into your inbox and you try calling, but you don't get through. So the first message, by text and email and voicemail will always be, is there a good time to give you a call? Because as I said, you want to try and get these people on the phone. If you don't hear back from them by the end of the day, I'll probably give them another call. And then if you still don't hear, if you still don't connect, then the next day, You can just say, I just wanted to check that you'd got my messages. Let me know if there's a good time to speak. But then the following day, don't repeat the same message. On that next day, you might send them a link to your Google reviews page. Let's say you've got some great reviews. It follows up with that client without repeating the same message. It's still showing them, yes, I'm still here when you're willing and able to speak to me. So you might send a link to your Google reviews page. The following day, you might send the reviews to your frequently asked questions. The next day, you might send them a link to a coupon code. You get the idea. We're following up every day, and we're telling these clients that we're here and available to speak to them, but we're not saying the same thing. When are you available for a call? And this is where, ChatGPT is a fantastic resource. If you want some ideas about how to send follow-up messages to prospective clients, just type it into ChatGPT and they'll give you some great follow-up sequences as well. I hope you found this video helpful. As I said earlier on, I think for me, the very best pool of traffic, the traffic where there is that key intent to actually pick up the phone and give you a call today is Google marketing. In this next video, I'm going to take you through, what a Google Ads campaign looks like. We'll go through a quick case study of one of the clients I work with, and it'll give you an idea of some of the fundamentals and basics that I focus on to run effective Google Ads campaigns. So I'll see you on the next one.